Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of True Talk with Sam. For those joining us for the first time, True Talk with Sam is a monthly talk series on how to settle in and adapt when in the UK. And there's also a platform where we invite internationally educated nurses to share their lived experience, just to let everyone know how it's been for them. And if you are new to this program, kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share the videos after this session today. We've had some session in the past, and which is quite interesting for you to go check the videos. We've had avoiding pitfalls and saving your NMC PIN. That's as a registered nurse here in the UK. We've had handling racism at the workplace. We know that racism is something that we cannot avoid here in the UK. And we've had someone come talk about how to handle racism at the workplace. We've had one of workforce practitioner come talk about how to fill an application form and prepare for an interview. We know a lot of persons find it difficult to fill an application form, get shortlisted, and sometimes they might not do well during an interview. We have a session on that. And we've invited quite a couple of international nurses to come share their lived experience here on this program. However, today we'll be talking about how to become a UKRON using the self-sponsorship route. And we understand the self-sponsorship route is the trend, and I'll just give you a brief overview about it. I think in 2019, the UK government opted to recruit international nurses to the UK to join the workforce, and they did start the international recruitment, which later elapsed last year. And currently, they've stopped the international recruitment, and a lot of international nurses often find it difficult to become a UKRON, hence the self-sponsorship route. And we have no other person than the CEO of Express Med Global Services, Mr. Otaigbe Eis, who is here to do justice to this topic. Mr. Otaigbe.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Sam, and thank you for the opportunity to feature us into this edition. I've taken time to go through what you'll be doing, and I must confess that it's really been impressive so far. Special kudos to you. Valuable content you're actually making, and I can only hope that everybody that are part of these sessions take out time to be able to watch previous videos, because they is actually going to be very, very helpful. My name is Otaigbe. He is CEO of Express Med Global, a brand that we started back then since 2019, and so far we'll be able to make tremendous impact in the lives of professionals and non-professionals alike. So we believe that today's session is going to be helpful to you, and is going to help in guiding your decision whether or not you should embark on this journey of self-sponsorship. Just keep your pen and paper handy so that you'll be able to follow us through. Remember, the session is equally going to be recorded, so you can always come back and watch over and over. We encourage you to be here live so that in case you have any question, we can be able to get it addressed. Unlike if the sessions are finished, you can only drop your comment on the comment section. But here we are here with you live, and we'll be more than happy to clear those doubts that you have in mind. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, Mr. Otaigbe. Just to let our viewers know, this is going to be an interactive session. You have the chat box. If you have any question, please feel free to drop it on the chat box, and we'll definitely do justice to that. My guest today, Mr. Otaigbe, has actually begged me not to throw accolades on him, and I will actually respect his wishes, because he's actually one of the best in this field. So let me leave it like that as the CEO of Express Med Global. But those who have passed through his tutelage can actually attest to the fact that his company is doing really great as regards nursing recruitment as it stands today. And we are here live and direct with him today, and then you will hear for yourself what his company, the services that they render to us. So let's just go quickly into the topic for today, self-sponsorship. Can you just tell us in plain terms what it means and who can take advantage of it?
Okay, Mr. San, thank you so very much. I think it's more like a language that is rampant everywhere now. Everybody knows about it, self-sponsorship, self-sponsorship. Many people tend to think that the language is synonymous with the nurses. Actually, it's not. It's a language that works for both nurses, doctors, and some other professionals. The reason why it's not synonymous with the nurses is because it's a new trend for the nurses. Because prior to this time, the NHS does the whole recruitment. Hardly or rarely you find a nurse coming to the UK sponsoring his or herself. So basically, to give plain meaning to the word, self-sponsorship simply means that you are a nurse who is registered in your native country. Let's assume you are from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Kenya, and you hope to practice in the UK, because we are talking in the context of the UK now. So you hope to practice in the UK, and rather than waiting for the NHS trust to handle the process of your recruitment and sponsor you from your native country to the UK, you decide to take the bull by the horn and estimate everything it takes, and then you begin the journey until you eventually land in the UK and become a fully registered UKRN. So that's just to give plain meaning to the word self-sponsorship. So once you are be able to become a UKRN, then you will now become more like you have advantages that every other UKRN gets. So you get the job, you start working as a UKRN, and that's it. You are now a registered nurse in the UK.
The way you're explaining it seems so very easy. Like we could just start up the process now. Can you tell us step by step the processes we could take to begin this journey?
All right. So before we dive into the step-by-step process, basically, the major reason why we are now clamoring for self-sponsorship at the moment is not far from the fact that every nurses far and wide, all over Africa, India, or Philippines are getting unfortunate messages. So prior to this time, you'll see that when nurses drop applications, in the midst of, let's say, 100, 200 applications, there will be glitters of some element of successful interview sessions. But nowadays, you see that some persons have applied for up to 500 jobs, 600, 8,000. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's all about unfortunate. So the reason for this is not far-fetched. So at the moment, most NHS trusts are poorly funded. Prior to the election, there were a lot of statements by most politicians that they are trying to cut down net migration, net recruitment for red list, and so on and so forth. So this really came to put a pressure on the NHS, and as we speak right now, most NHS are not well funded in terms of international recruitment. So that alone has really reduced the active recruitment that was previously ongoing. Yeah, we know that from red list countries, for those of you that don't know what red list countries are, they are countries that are not allowed to be actively recruited from by UK employer or agencies. But you can actually apply to those trusts directly, and then you have the opportunity to be interviewed, and then you can transit from your native country to the UK, as the case may be. So although there were still some recruitment from some red list country, but with the fact that funding has really dropped, it also means that a lot of persons were no longer willing, or a lot of organizations were no longer willing to sponsor people for their journey. So What this means is everybody now want to what? Take the bull by the horn, do the sponsorship all by themselves. Other than that, also, you will also notice that beside the issues of funding, there are many NHS that were previously into the training of nurses when they arrive in the UK. And as we speak, many of them are shutting down. So many UK training centers, they are shutting down. So you are now left with no option but to handle your own training by yourself so that you can eventually become a UK RON. So now we have no alternative but to begin the journey. So that is where we are. Now, for the step-by-step process of self-sponsorship, obviously, we are talking for the nurses for this session. So you know that before you even begin, you must have become a registered nurse. You must have been registered in your native country. We are not only referring to Africans now. Wherever you are originally registered as a nurse, you should have the license to practice. So that is the very first step. So once you are able to get your license sorted, then you can now begin to work on taking the relevant exams. And then what are those exams? Now for UK, if you want to become a nurse, it's required of you to write 3 major exams. The first one is your IELTS. It doesn't really matter at what stage you write these exams, but if you are going to transit, you definitely will need to write this exam, unless you have been in the UK for let's say a year plus now. You have been in the healthcare sector, then IELTS in that case may be an exemption for you. But if that's not the case, you will need to write IELTS. Once you are able to successfully scale through that, you will need another exam, popularly called CBT. It's computer-based test that ascertain your knowledge about your nursing as a profession. So you do that in your native country. It's done across almost all countries at the moment. But once you are able to get that sorted, then you can now begin the next phase, which is the OSCE. So the OSCE is the practical session where you will be able to have a practical experience of everything that you claim to have learned. And it takes quite some time and preparation, but eventually you scale through if you are able to get the training right. So once that is sorted, visa booked, everything done, then you are here in the UK and then you become a registered nurse with PIN. So it always ends with PIN. So once the NFC gives you your PIN, then you are happy, and then you are a registered nurse, free to work as a nurse. Maybe you are also lucky you get your recruitment sorted on time. And that's it. So basically, the process seems quite easy to say, but it takes a lot of planning. And that's why for us, Expressmed Global Services, we usually recommend that you have to plan ahead. You don't just say, okay, I want to do self-sponsorship now, book me for an exam, and that's it. So you have to plan ahead, and then you know that, okay, once I begin, I'm on the right pedestrian.
Thank you very much. And planning ahead would involve a lot of things. And the most important, I might say, would be finance, which is budget. Now, we understand that it's for us to then do all these things ourselves, it's going to cost us money. So how do you think we can minimize the cost, and what are the services that Expressmed Global can offer to help some of our viewers who are listening to us today?
Okay, thank you so much. So the thing is, when it comes to cost of OSA, it's quite variable. It's vary with people. Like it varies with your environment, it varies with your relationship, and also your financial prowess or capability. Basically, to begin the journey, you need to be thinking of how can you cut down costs. So in doing that, you need to start with the very first thing, which is what? Planning. So as far as OSCE is concerned, planning is everything. If you don't plan for the process, you will end up spending exorbitantly. You will end up spending a whole lot. So if you plan well, you will see that the whole thing can be a lot more easy. Now, when it comes to planning for your journey, the first and foremost thing is you need to take tutorials. You need to attend classes for your OSCE, because before you get to this point, I will assume that you will have already sort your IELTS out. You will have already sort your CBT out. Just to put context to those who may be joining us who are novice to how IELTS, CBT, and all those things works. I think at the moment now, IELTS used to be 70 something thousand. It was increased to 80 something thousand when speaking in the context of Naira. Right now, it's like 200 and something thousand Naira. So there is really a high increase. So that also goes for those in the UK as well. So IELTS is a little bit expensive, but if you have passed through that stage, you don't have to really bother about that. So the next phase will now be your planning phase. Now, if by assumption you intend writing your OSCE, you need to give yourself like a sort of a 3 months to 4 months plan. You don't just wake up and say, okay, it's time for me to book the exam. You just book the exam and you say everything will fall in place. No, everything doesn't fall in place, because if you think everything will fall in place, when you get to the visa phase, you may end up getting visa denial. So when you get visa denial, you're about to square one. And if you don't plan very well, you may not even get a refund from your OSCE center. So that's why we always recommend that you plan ahead, and then it will go a long way to minimize your costs. Now, secondly, is the aspect of accommodation. Now, what most people usually do is they think that because they want to write their exam in Ulster, they want to write in Oxford, they will just book an accommodation close to Oxford and Ulster. But what some persons don't understand is, especially many Africans that are coming in for this self-sponsorship, they think that transiting between two different locations is quite stressful. The truth is, it's not really that stressful. If you are able to have the necessary funding, a transition is quite easy. So what we usually recommend is try to get your accommodation in area or regions in the UK where accommodation are really very cheap, are really quite cheap. Because once you are able to get that, you've already gotten a chunk of the workload reduced, because accommodation is the biggest challenge with self-sponsorship. You are not in the UK, you don't have somebody, most landlords may not allow you to come into their house and say you want to rent. The best you can actually get will be Airbnb. And if you get Airbnb in places like Oxford, you must be ready to pay. Like, you are going to pay a whole lot of money. So you will now be considering other alternatives. And what are the best alternatives we usually recommend? Rather than thinking of booking your booking your accommodation very close to your exam center, you should be thinking of booking your Airbnb in northern part of the UK, where you know that accommodation are extremely cheap. So when you are able to secure that, you have your training just a week or a day to your exam, you can now move closer to your accommodation that you will secure in your exam center. What that means is, rather than you paying daily in a very costly environment, you will end up paying way less. And this will really go a long way to save your costs. Now, another thing that will also work well for helping to reduce your costs in this journey is what I said before, which is planning. Now, for us as a company, we usually have a one-to-one session where we are able to advise people based on their financial circumstances. So we look at their financial circumstances, we walk it through with them and have a plan with them on what can work, and then we tell them, okay, within this time frame, this is when you should book for your exam. Within this time frame, this is what you should do for that. And we have also tried to simplify and make everything easy for our people. Most of the tutorial, as far as OSCE is concerned, is really very, very expensive. I think sometimes you'll be hearing £700, £750, and so on and so forth. But for EMGS as a company, we also try our best, because we always have our community at heart, and we are always a step ahead on how to make a life of our people much more simplified, reduce their costs, and then help them to actualize their dream. We were able to set up a OSCE tutorial. The testimony has been flying around since we began our journey. We have both physical center in the UK as we speak now, and we also have the online version. So what we usually recommend is, during the online sessions, we have a one-to-one session. We have so many packages so that their training can begin even while they are in Nigeria or in Kenya or in India or wherever, Ghana. They will be able to have their training at their comfort zone. Just a week to their exam, they can come to us in the UK. We arrange accommodation for them, and then they can now have access to all this material that they need for their practice. The truth is, frankly speaking, exposure to physical materials are very, very crucial on this session, because OSCE is a practical exam, and you want to be as exposed as possible. You don't want a situation whereby you think that you have it all figured out. Then when you now get to the center, everything is... So you don't want to have that situation. So we try our best to make everything easier for our people. And so far, since we opened our center, it had been a jolly ride, a sweet story, and a lot of persons have really benefited from this journey. So that's basically it for the ways to minimize costs on the OSCE pathway. Now, looking at the services we render as SOS to aid the nurses pathway on this self-sponsorship journey, it all begins from the very start. Now, the basics. Every nurses, after you have passed your nursing council in your respective country, you need to write your CBT. Now, in writing that your CBT, EMGS as a company have your back. We have a 6-week program where we usually tutor people on how to get their CBT right. And then so far, it's always been a success story. And everyone that follows our classes always have a positive testimony to share. Now, beside the CBT, for those that are looking for getting their IELTS sorted, IELTS, there's a popular saying, I think we coined that IELTS is not a test of intelligence.
Knowledge. That's true.
It's a test of skills, because you will see some persons that have really been exceptional in their field, career-wise and also academic-wise. And then when they go for IELTS, you now realize that the story is not really adding up. So it shows you that IELTS is a test of skills. Now, in Express Med Global, for us as a company, we have been centered on impact when it comes to IELTS. So when we originally began our IELTS setup, we basically targeted people that have had issues. So people will come to us, they will say, I have done IELTS multiple times, there is no result. What can I do? They will just say, come to our team, and then we focus on sorting this problem. Then we noticed that many challenges that people were having would be, okay, how will I be able to come to your center? I live in Lagos. I live in different zones. So we established an online tutorial that is as physical as possible. So far, it has been a tremendous advantage to our community. And many of our previous candidates are now in different regions of the world, from US, Canada, UK, Australia, and what have you, at the moment. And even sometimes, because of the impact we made in their journey, some even still refer back and say, okay, I know IELTS is quite expensive now. I want to support those who are still on the journey because I know the impact your company made on my journey in the past. So we get people having to even book IELTS for other persons just for free. So that shows the kind of community we actually have. Now, beside the IELTS, I've referenced the OSCE before. So basically, from start to the very end, if you follow EMGS OSCE Masterclass, you will know that there are tutorial and there are tutorial. We take it to the next level. We make impact at a very subsidized rate. Mr. Sam, if I tell you that our tutorial in OSCE is 50 pounds, you will not believe it. So we have a package for as low as 50 pounds. We have a package for as low as 50,000 naira, which is way even lower than that. Multiple packages just to be able to get these people well sorted on their journey. And then we guide them, hold them by the hands from the very start to the finish, plan their journey with them. For those who don't know what is required of them, if they need to book a one-to-one session, we also do that with them, guide them through from the start to the very end. Now, there are many persons that they are on the US journey. They've been on this journey for ages. Now, they are not able to achieve this journey, not because they don't have the necessary resources per se, but because of the US backlog, the backlog that is currently affecting almost everybody at the moment. We encourage them to, you can go to begin your UK journey, get into the UK. Obviously, NCLEX centers is really available in most African countries. So when you get to the UK, you can begin your NCLEX, write your NCLEX, and then you can also now have an edge when it comes to moving to the US, because now you are not you now have double certification, being certified as an RON in your native country and then in the UK now. So we also have a platform where we tutor people on NCLEX. And since we began, I think Express is synonymous with success. So since we began, it has been a success story all the while. Now, once people are being able to achieve their dream of self-sponsorship, we now take it to the next level. We want them to have a change of taste. So we want to revamp everything about their journey. So their CV, their supporting information, we now begin to tailor it to meet the specification, because you don't want to be using the supporting information you were using prior to you getting to the point of working your way to self-sponsorship, when you now eventually succeed on the journey. So we also have a session of our platform that help people to draft their CV, do their supporting information, and make everything look great for them. Now, many are busy. Some persons, because of a lot of things going on, family and everything, they are not able to apply for jobs by themselves. So we also have a session where we are able to support people in terms of a job application, just to ensure that success is guaranteed for them. Now, beside that, we have a large community where we are compiling past questions for various trusts, for people who have actually succeeded before. There's this popular saying that past question actually sharpens your cutlass. So it's sharpening your implement. So imagine when you are going for an interview and you know what to expect. You know this is a potential question that can come out. You will be able to prepare well. And basically, UK, unlike most African countries, they want you to know what to expect. That's why sometimes when you prepare for the exam, they provide you with marking guide. So we are also leveraging on that. We have one of the biggest community as far as Nigeria is concerned now when it comes to past questions for people who have written or who have had their interview before. So we basically take our people from the very scratch to the point where they now eventually secure their job, and then they can now transit to become a full-blown UK RON. Now, there are a lot of persons that even after they've done all this, funds is a problem. So funds is a problem. They start going to sell their property. They start selling their family lands because they just want to travel. Now, there was an inspiration came to me like that was 2022, 2023. I have a colleague back then that was that bought a plot of land in Lekki. Back then, this area was still not the area it is now. So he bought the property for like 900K. That's roughly like that would be at the moment. It should be like, let's say, £500 or thereabout. But as we speak at the moment, the land is currently valued at over 90 million. 90 million. So you can see that appreciation. That is substantial. So assuming that person has sold that land in the name of he wants to relocate to the UK to come and become a UK RON. As we speak now, he may not have gotten that money back. So I discussed with my team members, and we work together and say, okay, how do we support our community to ensure that they don't end up selling their properties to be able to relocate? So we launched the Express Swift Loan Services. Now, with the Swift Loan Services, we are able to offer loan to prospective candidates who have been able to secure their jobs, but they are looking for funds to sort their flight and other issues out, like accommodation and everything. So we support them with this funding, and then they will also be able to pay us back by the time they are eventually able to achieve their dream of relocation to their dream country. Now, yes, I understand very well that everybody must not be in for nursing. There are some persons, they just want to go and study a course of their choice. Some person want to go into tech. Some person want to go into any other aspects that they feel, okay, this is more attractive to me. So we also have that package. We call it EMGS Study and Tour. And in this package, we help people with admission process, sort their admission out, help them to apply to schools of their choice, and then so far nobody comes to EMGS sessions and return the same. It's always a positive story. If you are a part of our platform, almost on a daily basis, you'll be seeing testimony from different angles. There's also the other aspect of EMGS, which is the proof of fund. I won't be dwelling on that now, but if people want to get more knowledge as it relates to that, once they are part of our community, they'll be able to know how that works. So this is basically for those who want to embark on self-sponsorship. They don't have enough funding and so on and so forth. So we try our best to also support them and guide them through how to do this. Actually, many things self-sponsorship is very, very expensive. Yes, it's true. I cannot deny that fact. It's very expensive. But if properly planned and you have people that hold you by your hands, and then they guide you on how to put the finances in place, where the finances can come from, then you will now realize that it is as easy as it can get. The truth is, there are some persons that are on this journey, they are just on the contemplation phase. Many have been on the contemplation phase for ages. Part of the reason why unfortunate messages is everywhere, beside the problem of lack of funding, beside the problem of NHS not recruiting as much as they used to, it's also the fact that many that have made decisions in the past and said, I will never relocate, they have changed their mind. Many have now packed their bag, they are ready to move. But the problem now is everybody else are on the journey. So it becomes a bigger problem, and we don't expect this problem to get resolved soon. At the moment, for those who know very well, Nigerians are always the trailblazers. They are always the leaders when it comes to matters of this sort. So if you are listening to us from Ghana now, and then you are thinking, should I begin my self-sponsorship journey? Should I not? My advice is simple. Weigh your pros and your cons.
It's my
Yes.
next question. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you short. I think we have a question, but I think it's something that we would also deal with. So probably at the end, if we've
Yeah.
not talked about it, then we would ask the question. Now let's come to the fact that after getting your PIN here in the UK, you've self-sponsored yourself and you're able to get a PIN. Securing a job sometimes is a challenge,
Yes.
and I would want to say sometimes some trusts would say, "Oh, you do not have UK experience." Sometimes, so how do you think someone can go around getting a job quickly if they undergoes this self-sponsorship route?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sam. So the first thing is you have to revamp all your trusts, all your track application, NHS Scotland, Beta Job, Indeed, and whichever platform you are using to apply for your jobs. You have to revamp everything. So if, for instance, you've stated that I'm a nurse who have passed CBT, passed IELTS, and awaiting my PIN, you should remove that word awaiting your PIN and rather make it I have passed CBT, pass IELTS, and I have equally passed my OSCE.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you say you have passed your OSCE, you pass everything, the mind of every employer is, oh, he's got a PIN. You understand? So let us schedule you for that interview. We will prepare you for the interview if you are a part of our platform, because we have the interview preparatory session of our team, and also supply you with past questions that will sharpen your implement to go for that your interview. So by the time you now approach your employer, you will be blazing hot, and then you will secure that interview. Then we cannot get to the phase of which we have just addressed now, certificate of good standing. Now, alternatively, while you are still in the UK, you've done your applications, sorry, you've gotten your OSCE feedback that you passed. Don't rush to go back to your native country. Where are you running to? So it's time for you to take advantage of what? Care homes. Yes, it's true that most big organizations like NHS Trust will tell you go to Track, go to Indeed, go to various platforms to go and apply for jobs. But the case is not the same for care home. Most
Okay.
care home may release their advert to the public, but if you go to those care home, it's just put it on your Google map and say care home near me. You will see so many care homes that are near you. You walk to them and say, I'm a registered nurse. I have passed the necessary exam. I'm actually looking forward to working with this trust. I have been working through this place for a long time. Or you have a friend that currently work here, and he told me a lot about this trust, and I want to work with this care home. And then the feedback they give you can be super amazing. There are two options. Either they tell you they don't have availability, or they tell you that, oh, there is current vacancy. Now, if they tell you they don't have availability, no problem. Just tell them that, can you give me the recruiter's email so that you will be able to follow them? So we'll tell you, oh, you can find that online. Then you will not just let them know you try searching before it didn't put through. Then they will give you the recruiter's email. Then you cannot go and send cold mail to those recruiters with all your relevant qualifications that you are ready to work with the trust. Imagine somebody that is ready, is nearby, and he wants to start working with your trust. Compare that person with the person that is not ready, that is still back to in different region and is applying online. Which one will you consider? Are you getting it now? So they will now consider you for that possible offer. They could schedule an interview with you while you are still in your home or while you are still in the UK. Yes, you will transition back home to go and change your visa. the truth is, you did self-sponsorship before. If you have gotten a job, if you don't have money, reach out to Expressmed Global Services. We will now process your funding. We supply you with the necessary resources that you need to process your journey. And that's it. Our community has been doing this for people for God knows when, and it has been a positive journey. So that is also another way. Another option for you is, you have actually done your best now, you've done everything. You now begin to join platforms. Yes, we have a job application department that have recently been revamped. We made so many changes to suit our community. You are applying your own. Take advantage, leverage on other people's expertise. Support, go through what they are doing and say, okay, can you support my application? Now, the truth is, many persons have submitted 500 applications. Some have not even gotten positive feedback. Now, this person that has submitted 500 applications, we go to another platform that want to help him or her to apply for a job. He will now start correcting that one on how to apply. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So you have applied for 500, but no success. So
Not gotten anything,
yes, people that have track record, you will now start correcting. So what we just recommend is, continue your application the way you will be doing it, the way you feel is best for you. Allow a second hand to also support your journey, so that when you chase it from different angles, whichever one that comes out productive, you can have an interview session with us, and then that is it. You get your
Mr. Otaigbe,
yes.
sorry to cut you short. I just wanted you to clarify this while you are explaining. There's a question here.
Yes.
So for nurses that use the self-sponsorship pathway, can they apply for jobs using their visitor's visa status and get jobs? And I also see someone was saying that most, let me say, that most trusts, they are not offering sponsorship, as they will say you have no legal right to work in the UK. So can you give us a brief on that?
So what they are basically saying is, they are saying because you are on a visitor visa, you can't work in the UK. There, that's the pattern, that's normal. It's the norms. See, as I keep saying, nurses did not start the self-sponsorship route. It's been ongoing for the doctors. I know the number of doctors we've accommodated with our accommodations services that come to write their plateau in Manchester. Yeah. So it's not really a big deal to you. It's not peculiar to you. So don't make it look as if it's your thing. No, it's not. So the truth is, by the time you have been able to sort the issues of job out, when you apply for a job, you don't need to say, I'm on a visitor visa, I'm on this. Change everything with your application. Use that place you stayed in UK. That's also one thing I forgot to speak about. Increasing your chances of getting job, change your address. Stop putting that address in your local country. Let's say Nigeria, Ghana. You are now in the UK. Use your UK address all through your track. So when your recruiter has seen all these things, they can say that, okay, this person is already in the UK. So you don't need to discuss about visa issues. And nobody will be discussing your visa issue with you during interview. It is after you have passed the interview, they will now start discussing all those things. Now, you know that you began your self-sponsorship. To swap your visa, is it a problem? You can sort that one out by yourself. So when they offer you an employment, you just need to change your visa. When you change your visa, you are back again to the work visa, and you can do this all by yourself. You did the self-sponsorship by yourself. You can still do this all by yourself. You return to your home country. Now you now have options. You have the job handy. Come back to your home country, and then you can now begin to swap your visa. Swap your visa to the work visa, and then you come back to the UK and you begin work. So don't make it complicated. See, the truth is, many people that are commenting that they heard that you will not be able to get this done because you're on visitor visa. Many have not even done this journey. There are some are just looking for what is the stumbling block that can stop me from doing it, rather than taking an active step. So take an active step first. Yes, I said we are going to prepare you for the exams. We're going to get everything sorted. at the lowest price, but yet with quality classic tutorial like none other. Once all this is sorted, you have everything to gain, all to gain, but nothing to lose. So when you come back to your country, you swap your visa, and that is it. So it's really not, it doesn't deny you from getting job. Nobody apply for job and say, my name is Otaibi Ehis. I saw your vacancy and I love it. I'm currently on visitor visa and I want to work with your trust. Who said, who does that? You don't need to review all those details. Those are personal details. You sure you don't even need to be putting in your supporting information. You shouldn't be saying I am a registered nurse from Ghana or from Nigeria. You know some experiences some persons have had with Ghana and Nigerians. Some persons, because of that previous experience or what they've heard, that can even not make your application to fly. You will just say, oh, okay, this one is a Nigerian nurse, this one is a Ghanaian nurse. And that would be the reason why your application did not move to the next phase. So there are some deep things that you may not get to know in these whole phases unless you are able to seek for expert services and advice and guidance. And that is where
EMGS comes in.
Yes.
I have a question. Someone is asking, can you assist a medical laboratory scientist in Nigeria to relocate using self-sponsorship program?
Okay, so that would be something we will not be discussing here now, only because we tag this session for the nurses.
UKRN, that's correct.
UKRN. So what we can do is to try and organize a separate webinar on our platform. We also have a YouTube channel called Express Med Global Services. You can try and have a look. Sometimes we do whole interactive sessions, webinars, and so on and so forth, just to get you properly guided. And you can see that Mr. Sam has been doing a tremendous work in terms of helping people to be able to achieve their goal. So that may also hold in this channel. You never can tell. So what I would recommend for you, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. See, information is power. Subscription to YouTube channel does not cost you anything. If you are following this session now and it's still hard for you to click on the subscribe button, you are not doing yourself any favor, because the quality information you are getting here now, you will go somewhere and you will pay hugely for it, and you will still not get as valuable information as you are getting here. So that is it. Information change to transform your journey from where it is to the next level. So do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel, and sometimes try to be watching out for what other content is it going to produce that can help your journey. And that is it. It doesn't take you anything to do that. So that's it. For medical laboratory scientists, we'll still try and host further sessions to help your journey. So don't worry. As long as you're part of our community, you should be safe.
Thank you very much. And then briefly, can you just tell us some advantages and disadvantages of using this self-sponsorship process?
Okay, so I think the biggest, let me start with the disadvantage now, the drawback.
Yeah, all right.
So the drawback is usually the finance. Some persons are working in the private sectors. Some persons have so many things that are dragging them, so they don't have resources. Some persons, because of one thing or the other, they are not able to get it done. So finance is a big problem, but it's not as expensive as you think, especially if you are knowledgeable about proof of funds and how proof of funds work. Company that can help that sorted for you, where EMGS as a company is also top notch in helping to guide you. Now, if you also book a one-to-one consultation, you will also see that self-sponsorship is not as difficult as it may seem, because then we can be able to assess your financial status. If you want to consultation, you may not see me there, but there are people that are experts in this field. It is what they eat and breathe. It is what they do. They know even way better than I do. They will hold you by your hand and guide you through. And so, okay, this is the best way to do it. Start planning it now. In 4 months, that's when you should be able to book your exam. This way to do this, and they will guide you through. So, disadvantage, finance. Now, what are the advantages? Now, the first advantage is reduction in unfortunate messages. Yes. when you apply for, let's say, 100 application, 50 application, 20 application, chances are you get a positive feedback. That is, if you have done all those things I have stated so far. Number one, change your location because you have swapped location. Number two, now there are some person in the comment section now that may be thinking, oh, if I swap my location and I return back to my native country, how do I sort myself out? The truth is, it's not hard. It's just to say that while I was applying for a job, that was when I was in that location. At the moment, I have changed my location. I will love to be interviewed virtually. And then they will send you a virtual link. But you have already bypassed the first phase now. They shortlisted you already. Nothing can be done about that. Because NHS also are centered on quality and giving equal right to people. So they cannot just cut you off because you say your location is different. Because not every, even in the UK, there are still interviews that are done virtually. So that is basically it on that. Now, the second advantage of self-sponsorship, besides the reduction in unfortunate messages, is the fact that you are a free person. You are a free man. So what that means is, in most trusts, you will realize that when you the trust sponsors you, you think it's a free sponsorship. Actually, nothing is free.
Even in Freetown.
Yeah, nothing is free.
Yeah.
So you think it's free, but it's not free. Once they sponsor you, you have your time with them for at least 3 years, 2 years, and so on and so forth, depending on your contract. If you say you want to leave, some will say pay back
You are
what you
correct.
need to sponsor you.
You are correct.
You understand? But when you do this yourself, you are a free man. You can just wake up tomorrow and say, London is not my thing. It's too expensive. I go to Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool, I don't like their the way they are. I want to see Manchester United Stadium. I go to Manchester. You are not obligated to anybody because you did the self-sponsorship. You took the bull by the horn, and then you have done justice to the pathway by your own self. So that is a huge advantage. You can be in a trust and you see that the staff, the environment is not really nice. People, maybe they are racist, the work culture is not nice, there's no career progression. You can just wake up and say, man, this is not my thing, I move. Then you move freely. Nobody is going to be telling you that you will need to wait for 1 year or pay back. You only have a 1 month or 3 months to say, okay, I've issued this certificate, this letter that I'm not going to work with you anymore. So those are some of the advantages of self-sponsorship. The
Yeah.
truth is, freedom, advantages of freedom can never be overemphasized as far as any journey is concerned. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taigbe. I think you've really done justice to it. One thing I need to add, you've actually talked about applying diplomacy in whatever you're doing. There are a lot of hurdles that you will actually face in this self-sponsorship route. However, you have to apply diplomacy and you have to be positive. Be positive minded. Have a positive mindset. You don't need to look for the negatives in everything and dwell on it. You have that positive mindset, you start the journey. When you get there, information you said is key and it's very, very important. You begin to ask questions. And I'm really happy Mr. Taigbe, who is the CEO of Express Med Global Services, is actually here to do justice to this. And I would really like my viewers to have how can they reach you? Because you've talked about a lot right from the start, the IELTS, the CBT classes, the OSCE, and I think a lot of persons are liking the loan services. I don't know if I'm speaking your mind, guys. However, how can they reach you, Mr. Taigbe?
Okay, so to reach out to us, it's pretty simple. Social media has made everything very easy now. So if you go to Instagram and you type Express Med Global Services as we speak now, you will see that there's a platform with over 10K subscribers, and it's right in your face, and that is our platform. If you go to YouTube and type Express Med Global Services, you will see a platform that is right in your face that with over 6,000 subscribers, and you can actually put a message to any of the comment section, and then somebody will be able to guide you. Now, we are available on Telegram. We are available on WhatsApp. We
Yes, I
have
think
over,
somebody asked about that. Yeah.
yeah, so we have over 500 WhatsApp groups now, and our Telegram is quite robust. Different Telegram platform as it serve your needs. There is a Telegram group for sales sponsorship. There is a Telegram group for past question for NHS, Canada, Australia, UK. There's a Telegram group for where we just specifically guide people on what is the next phase after you have successfully determine and say, okay, I have passed my necessary exams. I need to move forward with my life. What is the next phase? So you can reach us across any of these social media platforms. We are even also available on TikTok. We just recently started that just to be able to give limelight to some of our community members that are fan of TikTok as well. So either of these platforms, you can get us contacted. What we can also do is maybe after this video, we can also send you a link to one of our Telegram group in the comment section, so that you can come back and be able to click on those links and be able to join our platform and benefit for the numerous services we are currently rendering to aid or support your journey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oktaibe. Before you go, I would want you to deliberate on your OSCE physical class. Yeah. So I have met some persons who are on this self-sponsorship route. However, they would like to have maybe like a mock physical, a mock test or a mock exam.
Yeah.
How would you explain that?
Okay, so at the moment, our session is located in Liverpool. So the reason why we go for Liverpool is because of what I have analyzed so far. The fact that it is in the northern part of the UK, accommodation is relatively very cheap and less expensive compared to other regions. And it also has this very lovely environment. When you come around, you will love it. For those that have been joining us in our physical session so far, they can testify that classic tutorial and classic assessment is everything. We have all the materials, all the equipment as it can mimic in your exam venue. So beside the fact that we'll give you classic online classes, if you just want to book for mock, we have a package for you. If you are not even a part of our tutorial, you've joined other tutorial, they've been helping your journey, because we know that we are not the only people that help people. There are people that are also committed in aiding your success story. So if you have been a part of those session, good and fine. If you now, maybe they don't have the physical session, you can come to us, book a 1 week session where we can get to assess you and see how are you progressing. Have you been doing it right? Is there anything wrong with your practice? Is there anything that can cause? Are there pitfalls we can spot and say, stop doing this? The truth is, many people always consider finance when it comes to self-sponsorship. But look at it clearly. OSCE at the moment costs roughly £794. Now, if somebody have a receipt, the cost is like 300 and something pounds. Yeah. Now, for our OSCE center, online, physical, and everything combined, is barely up to £300. So can you see? Everything combined is barely up to £300. Now, if it's just mock alone, it's barely up to £200. So if £200 or £100 or £50 will save you from 300 and something pounds,
why not do it?
Why not jump at it?
Yeah.
So you may claim you don't have money, but by the time you go to the exam, you go and have issue, money will come for you to go and read a book. So many people, they know the skills, they are good, but by the time they get to the center, they feel for culture shock. Yeah. So somebody that have been doing this over and over, because he hasn't been doing it with the right equipment, they say you have to do ANTT, you are cleaning your table, and you say it's a trolley. By the time you now see the trolley, you now begin to wonder, wait, how am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
So you don't want to be in that situation. So that's why we open our center in Liverpool to be able to guide people through. And so far, it's been all exciting. And we also have a flexible accommodation package.
Okay.
Our accommodation packages are very low. Getting accommodation as low as £20 per night is not it's unheard of in UK.
Yeah.
Average Airbnb could be as high as 40, 50, 60, and so on and so forth. But we have truncated the price just to be able to help especially Africans across various regions. So even if you are already in the UK, you are not coming from diaspora, and you want to have this session, let's say you're on a dependent visa, you now want to swap to become the primary applicant, and you want to become a fully registered nurse, we will still hold you by your hand. Besides getting the quality tutorial online, you can come to our physical center and expose yourself to the state-of-the-art equipment that will catapult you to smashing that exam. And then you will know that indeed you have gotten some persons that God has sent to your way to impact your journey positively. And that is what the brand represents, making impacts that are positive in people's life.
Thank you very much. And we can actually see some attestations on the comment section to say they've actually benefited from your brand. Thank you very much. One last thing. What's your advice for everyone today?
Okay, so if you have made up your mind that you want to do this, the first thing is have a plan. And in order to have a plan, if you can, book a one-to-one consultation so that we can understand your financial situation and get that one planned out. So planning is everything. Secondly, join helpful platforms, join groups. Don't be that person that wants to do everything in isolation. I don't want people to know that I want to travel. I don't want them to, if they know that, they will hold me back. No. The more information you have, the larger your success story. Again, platforms such as the one you are listening to now, click on the subscribe button so that you can be able to know what is up next. Okay, what is trending? Okay, what should I prepare myself for? How should I begin to take the next step? So those are some of the steps I will advise you. But if you are a novice, let's say you are just graduating from the nursing school and you are still on your journey or thinking of all these things are looking strange to you, begin by getting your international passport. So that's the first phase for you. So get your international passport. International passport doesn't mean you want to leave your country. No. We are not encouraging you to say leave your country. No. But so make your own frantic effort. The one that you know is under your control. Start working on what is under your control first before you start pointing. There's a popular saying, I think it's a biblical word, that you should remove the glass in your eye before you start thinking of the one in the eye.
Yeah.
So that means work on what you can control. What is under your control? International passport is under your control. Preparing for exam is under your control. Visa is not under your control. So you get a consultation for that. Everyone that under your control, follow it. Then one step lead to another. That is how you become a UKRON. And then you now also be, nobody will pepper you again. You will not see your colleague that once said that, oh, I don't want them to know about my journey. What they now learn, they will now start peppering you on their WhatsApp status. Nobody will pepper you again. As they pepper you, so will pepper them. Everybody will, as long as you achieve your goal. That is our joy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Otagbe, the CEO of Express Med Global Services. Please, everyone, kindly go to their YouTube channel. Please subscribe and follow the links there. They have a lot of packages. I must say, the testimonies we are getting, they are a lot and they're marvelous. And it's part of the reasons I had to invite him to come share his services with us today. And if you've not subscribed to True Talk with Sam, please subscribe to our channel today, as we have a monthly talk series where we bring knowledgeable people to come share their experiences and share knowledge to us. Thank you very much, Mr. Oktagbe, and I'm really glad that you're able to do justice to this. And I hope a lot of our viewers today will actually reach out and patronize your services today. Thank you very much, guys. And I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate what you are doing. Keep up the good work, and hopefully a lot will keep getting the positive impact of your brand and platform. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hope to see you guys next month. Thank you very much.